Small business owners are the most trusted institutions in the United States. There was some research done that showed that they're more trusted than churches, healthcare facilities, academic institutions. So really, like, it is huge. Your voice as a small business owner and as an entrepreneur matters. People are going to listen to you.
Hey, RMMFI community, welcome back to our first Colorado Connects video series of 2025. Theresa Rinne-Meyers with the RMMFI team, and I am very honored to be joined here today by Small Business Majority, who's going to tell us a bit more about what's going on in the small business majority world. And so, Hunter, can you kick us off? It's great to see you. Tell us a little bit, tell us your name, your role, and what Small Business Majority does.
Sounds good. Thanks, Theresa. Hi, everyone. My name is Hunter Nelson. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Colorado Director of Small Business Majority. Small Business Majority, we're a national nonprofit organization focused on supporting small businesses through an equity lens, focusing specifically on small businesses owned by women, people of color, and in rural communities. We divide our work into kind of three primary initiatives. We provide educational tools and resources to small business owners to help them start and grow their businesses. We engage in policy and advocacy, which is arguably the biggest arm of our work, elevating the voices of small business owners on policy issues that impact them and their business. And then we conduct research. We do a lot of polling of small business owners nationwide and in our state offices, Colorado being one of them, to understand their perspectives on different issues. And then that informs the policies that we engage on. So we have been around for almost 20 years. It's our 20th anniversary this year. And I'm born and raised here in Colorado, on the ground doing Colorado work and leading our Colorado office. So it's good to be here.
Awesome. Well, it's great to see you today, Hunter. Can you tell us a bit more about what Small Business Majority in Colorado is focused on this legislative session? What bills or issues are you involved in this year?
For sure. There's a number of issues and going to be some bills coming down the pipeline that Small Business Majority will be involved in. One of the biggest issues we hear from small business owners and that we're engaging in is increasing healthcare accessibility and affordability. So continuing to support implementation of health insurance options like the Colorado option, which is in the individual and small group market, which is a standardized health insurance plan that's supposed to be more affordable for Coloradans to be able to receive the health care that we need, and small businesses as well, so they can offer that to their employees. So continuing to support implementation of Colorado option is huge for us. We're also going to be looking this session at supporting legislation that would lower prescription drug costs for Colorado small business owners and also protect small independent pharmacies. That's also an issue we hear a lot from small business owners on our network, is the cost of prescription medications and what that means for them and how that impacts them and their business. We're also focusing on defending Medicaid and health insurance programs such as OmniSalute, which provides private coverage for undocumented Coloradans, and then Colorado's reinsurance program as well, making sure that we're preserving access amidst a tight budget year, access to healthcare for entrepreneurs, especially those who are undocumented and maybe have lower moderate incomes as well. And then we also engage on the reproductive health front. So we're going to see some bills coming down the pipeline to enact Medicaid coverage for abortion care, which would be implementing a ballot measure that was passed in November 2024 here in Colorado. And then also clarifying and codifying emergency medical protections in Colorado statute to protect access to life-saving reproductive health care. We have heard from many, and our polling highlights that many women entrepreneurs state that access to reproductive health care really impacts their ability to start and grow their businesses. And so that continues to be a big issue that we'll focus on this legislative session as well. In terms of some other priorities, really childcare is something we continue to hear from entrepreneurs as access to childcare and affordability as one of the biggest things that impacts them and their businesses, as well as their workers as well. So we're really looking this session, urging policymakers to prioritize efforts that lower the costs and increase the availability of childcare for small business owners and their families and workers, and to also support childcare providers who are often small business owners themselves through tax credits and investments. So like I said, we're in a tight budget year, and we have some tax credits that have been really key at supporting small business owners in the childcare space, including the early childhood educator tax credit as well that may be expiring. And so we're really looking at trying to extend these tax credits and these investments and protect access to childcare as well. We're also going to be looking at legislation to mitigate some of the negative impacts of private equity in childcare. So we're seeing, much like we've seen in healthcare, private equity entities that are impacting the stability of small childcare businesses and thus sometimes making them having to close their doors. And that impacts the availability of childcare as well for entrepreneurs and their communities and their workers. So trying to protect those small business owners as well as access to childcare in our communities across Colorado. And then also working with the Colorado Department of Early Childhood to support implementation and execution of programs to support access to childcare, including our Colorado Child Care Assistance Program, CCAP, which provides subsidies for families to be able to afford childcare. And we know that's really crucial for entrepreneurs as well. We may just be starting, like I said, maybe of lower moderate incomes and really rely or benefit from those subsidies to access the childcare they need. So those are going to be some of those big childcare priorities that we're going to definitely be looking at for sure. And then as always, small business majority is always supporting public policy solutions that reduce barriers to entrepreneurship, especially for under-resourced entrepreneurs. So some things we're going to be seeing this session, a bill that was already introduced, House Bill 251021, to extend and expand the employee ownership tax credit. So it's available to Colorado small businesses to cover up to 50% of eligible costs to convert their business to an employee ownership model. We're seeing a lot of small business owners nationwide and in our network and in Colorado who are looking to retire, maybe sell their business, looking at succession planning, and employee ownership has really risen to the forefront as the potential kind of more equitable way to transition their business. And so we're looking at legislation that would increase this credit, that increase that percentage coverage up to 75% of eligible costs, and also modify certain eligibility criteria to expand small businesses' access to that credit. So that's going to be something we're going to be supporting. We're also looking at reforming commercial property tax payment structures to support small businesses. So currently, commercial property taxes are due in mid-January of the following year with only two payment options, full payment by April or end of April, or two installment payments due in February and June. These current payment structures are just not flexible and merely may not be convenient for small business owners who have commercial property. It can make it hard to balance their budgets, especially with experiencing cash flow issues. So we're proposing a path forward with monthly installments. It's an option for monthly payments for their property taxes to kind of help them, like I said, their monthly expenses and balance their budgets and really be a bit more flexible, especially with small business owners that are often at risk of displacement. This is something that we've heard is a big barrier for them. So we're going to be supporting legislation that will be coming down around that. And then also protecting small business owners from with commercial leases from unclear fees, typically unclear common area maintenance fees that appear in commercial leases for small businesses that cover maintenance costs. However, these fees are not always made fully transparent to small business owners signing a commercial lease and are disproportionately, again, impacting small business owners of color who are already at risk of displacement. So we really support requiring more transparency around these common area maintenance fees, or CAM fees as they're called, so that these specific fees and the services that are provided for those fees are called out in a small business owner's commercial lease. So at least more transparency as a first step forward in that issue. So yeah, that was a lot, but those kind of are the big primary. And like I said, we have a number of implementation priorities. Our paid family medical leave here in program here in Colorado, family to support paid family medical leave for Colorado entrepreneurs and their workers is something we're always continuing to look at. Colorado Secure Savings, which is our state's public retirement option for entrepreneurs and workers as well. So those are continuing to be things that we're looking at. But overall, that's sort of what we're engaging on this year and in this session.
That's awesome. That is a lot. Thanks for everything that you are leading on behalf of Colorado entrepreneurs. My last question for you today is really just how can the RMMFI network, how can RMMFI network entrepreneurs get involved and have their voices heard on some of the issues that you all are working on?
For sure. Yes. So everyone is always welcome to reach out to me, H. Nelson at smallbusinessmajority.org. You can also find my contact form on the Small Business Majority website. And we're there always as a resource. So please use me as a resource. Sometimes it can be really intimidating, these policy and advocacy spaces, when you haven't been involved, but they're actually, Small Business Majority, we really want to make it more accessible for folks to elevate their voices on these issues. So that can include testifying. If there's something, that I mentioned today, or even that you're seeing coming on the pipeline this session that you want to testify on, that you want to make your voice heard in the media through op-eds or letters to the editor, all types of meeting with your congressional representatives, meeting with your state representatives. Those are really ways to get involved. And Small Business Majority, we're here as a resource to help make those connections for you, help you learn about testimony, how to do all these things to really make your voice heard on these issues. Small business owners are the most trusted institutions in the United States. There's some research done that showed that they're more trusted than churches, healthcare facilities, academic institutions. So really, like, it is huge. Your voice as a small business owner and as an entrepreneur matters. People are going to listen to you. It's often something that across the aisle that people really want to support is small businesses and listening to the concerns of small business owners. So please don't hesitate to reach out and make your voice heard through all those ways I listed or whatever fits best for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hunter, for your time today. And it sounds like there are tons of ways for entrepreneurs to get involved. For everyone out there, you'll be seeing RMMFI and Small Business Majority and some of our partners co-hosting a day of action on February 26th. So keep your eyes posted for that. And again, Hunter, thanks for your time today.